Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
I'm husband.
And I'm wife.
Together, we're reading the Bible for the very first time.
We grew up without religion and wanted to know what all the fuss was about.
Well, what have we learned so far?
That God is a dick, and apparently some people believe in talking donkeys?
We're not trying to pass ourselves off as experts.
Nope, we're just reading the Bible for the first time and giving our first take reaction.
If you'd like to join us in this venture, you might consider starting at episode 1.
Otherwise, jump in wherever you like.
All right, let's go read the Bible.
Yeah, let's get to it. Husband!
Wife!
Guess what we're doing today?
Well, it is still Saturday.
It's Saturday.
No, it's not.
It's Sunday.
It's Sunday. Shit.
But guess what we're doing anyway?
Well, we're doing what we should have done yesterday, which is
Q&A Saturday.
That's
and we're
right.
going to do a little bit more because it's not long what we've got.
Yeah, so I'm going to actually be doing a little bit of a thing that I want to talk about that's relevant and coming up soon. So, there'll be the Q&A bit and then something else.
And then something else. Stick around.
Right. So, what are we Q&A'ing today?
I thought we'd talk a little bit about Gedaliah.
Gedaliah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. You ready to do this?
Sure as fuck am.
Let's do it.
Okie dokie. All right. So let's talk about Gedaliah. Do you remember what he is, who he is, what he was doing?
How about you tell me? Because off the top of my head, I don't exactly recall. I think he's like the new leader, maybe?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
So you'll remember that Babylon came in and Zedekiah was like, boom, gotcha, to the entire city.
Yeah.
Except for Zedekiah had run off and then Babylon was like,
his eyeballs out and all that wonderful
still gotcha.
Stuff.
Yeah. And so then the leader of Babylon was, I can't remember his name, is why I keep saying Babylon.
Nebuchadnezzar?
Yeah, Nebuchadnezzar. That's right.
Yeah.
Him. He was like, so I need a leader down here with the remnant poor folk that are left behind.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And so he's looking around and he's like, I see you guys who are like kind of royalty, but I don't trust any of y'all fucks.
Yeah, we've tried this before. It didn't work out well.
Yeah. So I think I am going to use Gedaliah and appoint him as my my governor of this area.
Sure.
He's got administrative experience. He's not of the royal line. He's going to work with me. So I think that'll be cool.
Okay. All right. Yep.
And so then Jeremiah was given the choice of you can go with the prisoners to
he was like, should
Babylon?
I stay or should I go?
Should I stay or should I go now? You definitely fed me that line.
I did.
But if he had gone, he would have been treated really well because he would have been right under the captain of the guard, which was Nebuzaradan or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Zadalon.
Right.
I don't know. Anyway, whatever that dude's name was.
Right.
He would have been treated very well. Or he could stay behind with the remnants and kind of try to, rally them a little bit and maybe take care of them or whatever.
Sure.
So he chose to stay, which I find very interesting and odd, but okay.
Right.
So Gedaliah, governor of Judah, what's up? Right?
Yeah.
So, okay, Gedaliah then was like, hey, you know what? Let's try to make the best of this, okay? Let's just try to, rebuild the land a little bit, see what we can fix here.
Yeah.
And the people are like, yeah, okay.
Right. Yeah.
But then Ishmael, the son of Nethaniah, was like, I should have been made the governor because I am from the royal party and I fucking hate you.
Yeah.
And then so somebody was like, I don't think you should talk like that. And Ishmael was like, I'm going to kill that bitch.
Right.
And then
someone's always pissed off when somebody else is in charge.
Right? And so then somebody was like, hey, Gedaliah, I think this Ishmael dude might want to kill you.
Right.
And Gedaliah was like, get the fuck out of here.
Right,
That would be stupid. We're happy now. We're rebuilding the land.
And plus he was, I think, getting along with the guy that was going to say,
well, they had served in the same court for the last decade or whatever.
Right.
So he's like, no way. He would never.
Right.
You're being stupid. This is my pal.
Yeah.
You know, we serve together. We do good together.
Yeah.
You know? So he's like, you're silly. So let's talk about Gedaliah. Okay. The name Gedaliah means Yah has become great.
Okay.
So his name is godly, I guess.
Sure.
Okay. He was the son of Hekam, who saved the life of the prophet Jeremiah.
Okay.
I don't know if you recall back when, like in the earlier chapters of Jeremiah, there was a guy who kind of stepped in and
right.
like one of the governor people, like one of the people with high stature, kind of took his side and was like, let's not kill this one.
Yeah.
Don't kill him.
Yeah.
So that was a Hekam who was Gedaliah's daddy.
Right.
Okay. And so Ahikam was the grandson of Shaphan, who's mentioned in relation to the discovery of the scroll of teaching, which I mentioned this when we were reading it.
Yeah.
Some scholars identify that as the core of the book of Deuteronomy.
Okay.
So remember when like it all went missing, and then this one guy was like, Josiah, we found it.
Yeah.
Look what we found.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Josiah was like, that's cool.
Right.
They just found it like on the shelf of some library or whatever.
As you do, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, that's how this family is related. Okay. So they're not of the royal line of David, but they are
important.
Royal David line adjacent.
Right.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So Gedaliah was appointed by Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon as governor of the Yehud district.
The Yehud district, huh?
Yehud.
I love that name.
Yeah. Which was formed after defeat of the kingdom of Judah and the destruction of Jerusalem in part of territory that previously formed the kingdom.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he was supported by a Chaldean guard stationed at Mizpah. Okay. Right. So, you know, Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar. That guy. Why can't I suddenly remember his name?
I don't know.
Nebuchadnezzar was like, okay, we won and now we're leaving. And here, guard guy, you stay behind and I choose you, Gedaliah to, wait, is that his name? Gedaliah?
Yeah.
Gedaliah. I'm having a hard time with names. I apologize. He's like, guard guy, you're in charge. Gedaliah, you're the governor. And now I'm out. Peace, deuces, bye. And he went back home.
Right.
Okay?
So they didn't really have free reign. They were in charge, but they were in charge as long as they did the bidding of what Nebuchadnezzar has said to do.
Yeah, but they were given freedom within structure.
Sure.
You know, structured freedom.
Right.
So, I mean, it was a gilded cage, but it was a cage nonetheless.
Yeah.
But, you know, they weren't like doing slavery work. They were just, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, he was supported by the Chaldean guard stationed at Mizpah. Okay. Mm-hmm. And on hearing of the appointment, the Jews that had taken refuge in surrounding countries, they returned to Judah.
Okay.
Because they were like, oh, wait, they put one of us in charge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're still here.
They did a Judean governor.
Right.
This is what? Unexpected.
Right.
I guess it wasn't as bad as we thought it would be. These guys aren't that bad. Yeah. And so the new governor, Gedaliah, he began the task of restoring order, peace, and productivity in Judah.
Okay.
And he saw that it would be useless for those who remained of Judah's army to attempt any sort of military action against the Babylonian occupation forces.
Right.
So he was like, no, we're not here to fight anymore.
Sure.
They already beat us.
Yeah.
Okay. We're not going to do that. So he advised instead that all the people, farmers and soldiers alike, settle down and help make Judah's damaged farmland productive again.
Sure.
Which, I mean...
work on what you can.
Yeah.
Control what you can.
Yeah, exactly. Which, I mean, he sounds kind of like a good guy, you know?
Yeah.
He's making the best of it, you know?
Right.
And this would ensure for themselves a fairly comfortable existence under their new rulers.
Okay.
And the only one really that would be put out would be the soldiers, you know?
Right.
they're like, no, this is bullshit. The farmers, whatever, we farm. Who cares who's in charge?
Yeah.
We're going to be farming regardless.
Right.
Like, I don't really care who boss man's name is.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm farming the land, and I don't probably get to see a lot of the benefits of it.
Sure.
So this Gedaliah guy, he's zealously, like, super excited to get things going. He zealously began to encourage the people to cultivate the fields and vineyards, okay? And thus lay the foundation of security, okay? And the more that he was, like, saying, let's do good stuff, the more that people were like, okay. And the more that good stuff started to happen, the more that the people who had fled to neighboring lands during the War of Destruction, they were attracted by news of the revival of the community. So they started coming back to Gedaliah and Mizpah, and they were warmly welcomed by him. So all of the people who had fled and were refugees in nearby towns.
So he was being a good ruler.
Yeah.
Right.
They were all coming home. They were like, this cool.
Right.
Okay.
At least to some people anyway.
Right. Gedaliah also welcomed home those Judeans who fled to neighboring countries to escape the Babylonian army. And under Gedaliah's leadership, the Judeans soon saw their country becoming productive again. So, I mean, there was a time period when they were actually rebuilding.
Right.
Like, this wasn't just like 2 days and then, you know, this was like a good, strong period of time when they were actually rebuilding.
Yeah.
But the Ishmael guy, he was having none of it.
Right.
Okay. So where we left off in our last chapter, chapter 40, was he didn't like it. So I'm about to give you a spoiler. Okay.
Okay.
Because when we read on Monday in chapter 41, Ishmael is actually going to kill Gedaliah. Which
we guessed at.
We did guess. I mean, it wasn't like a real big foreshadowing. It's not like a super spoiler.
Right.
The reason that I'm giving that away in this little Q&A section is because that assassination has repercussions to this day.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
The assassination of Gedaliah left Judah devoid of any Jews or Jewish rule and completed the destruction of the first temple.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like that was it. It was done at that point.
So they destroyed themselves, essentially.
Yes. Jewish sages established the fast of Gedaliah. So this is a day of memorial still today.
Wow.
Yeah. It's observed on the third day of Tishrei, so as not to coincide with Rosh Hashanah, which is the Jewish New Year that occurs in the late summer / early autumn.
Okay.
Yep. It's suspected that his assassination occurred on the first day of that time period.
Okay.
But they don't want it to coincide with that, so that's why they celebrate it on the third day instead.
Sure.
But yeah, that is still actually one of the, I think, 4 feast days.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I didn't want to talk about Gedaliah without mentioning that he is actually still significant today.
Right. Yeah.
So that is my little tidbit on Gedaliah. We will still read a little bit about him on Monday when he's not dead yet.
Sure. Yeah.
But gets dead real fast.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so that brings us to what I wanted to talk about.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and some of you may have heard that tomorrow, being Monday, the April the 8th, 2024, there's going to be a total solar eclipse.
A total eclipse of the heart?
No, the sun. Yeah.
Total eclipse of the heart.
So it struck me out of left field, kind of, and it shouldn't have, because this happens every time there's something weird happening, different happening, whatever. It happens pretty much daily, actually, I would say. Somebody's got some sort of a prophecy, some sort of an idea that the apocalypse is going to happen, that the end of times is on its way.
It is on its way every day, always.
Yeah.
For several thousand years now.
Yeah, they're kind of late, but I mean, whatever. So we keep always having these new things where they're like, the end of the world is coming on this date, right?
Remember Y2K?
Yes. I don't know that was real biblical, though. That was more like the computers are going to ruin it. Yeah, right. Yeah. So
Well,
I'm sure there were some biblical stuff going on then, but, it didn't feel biblical to me.
I was in Florida at the time, and a lot of the people that I talked to, they were actually stockpiling water and weapons and canned goods.
Wow.
Yeah, because they were like, society is going to fall.
To be fair, my mom bought a lot of canned goods and some water and I think some duct tape or something. I don't know.
Right.
We had a stockpile. I remember.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that happened during Y2K.
Kids, ask your parents what Y2K was about.
Anyway, so tomorrow, actually, as you don't have much time, probably. If you're listening to this today, which we're going to release this as soon as we're done, you've got till tomorrow. And then tomorrow, if you're listening to this, if you don't listen to it before, 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Eastern time.
Shit's probably already happening, man.
Yeah.
So, if the world ends, we won't get a lot of listens on this one. So,
I guess if the world ends, the number of listens we did or didn't get is going to be the last of our concerns.
Exactly. That being said, in the interest of kind of giving the other side and the information that I have heard from them.
Oh my!
I am going to play a couple of clips here. So
okay.
I'd like you guys to just listen, and then we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more about this. Okay?
That sounds fun.
All right, let's do this.
Okie dokie.
And this is what you don't know about 3 days of darkness. The solar eclipse on April 8th has stirred interest and concern related to biblical prophecy. It will be a total eclipse visible across the U.S., which won't happen again for 20 years. And it is not just any eclipse like the ones we have seen before, as it will be on the same day as the 3 days of darkness in Egypt. During an eclipse, the moon blocks the sun temporarily. But beyond its visual spectacle, people see connections to warnings in Scripture about signs from God. In the biblical scriptures, astronomical phenomena are alluded to as warning signs, as the Bible tells us in Joel 2 verse 31. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood before the great and dreadful day of the Lord comes. A past eclipse on August 24, 2017, went through 7 cities named Salem. Another eclipse will cross America with a similar pattern over 7 cities called Nineveh, as in the book of Jonah. The word Salem, according to the Bible, is peace. So God is said to have offered peace 7 times through these signs. This next eclipse crosses Nineveh cities and makes a perfect cross on the center of the nation. Right in the center of the cross is a city called Rapture. What is God's message? He's coming very, very soon.
And then there's this one.
The solar eclipse is coming next month and will cross over many cities named Nineveh. Now, what is the significance of this, and what is God saying? There was a biblical scholar named Donald Wiseman, and he speculated that the eclipse took place around the time that Jonah arrived in Nineveh and urged the people to repent, otherwise the city would have been destroyed. Now, the path on April 8th for the U.S. eclipse passes directly over or nearby these towns. Look at this: Nineveh, Texas; Nineveh, Missouri; Nineveh, Indiana; Nineveh, Ohio; Nineveh, Pennsylvania; Nineveh, Virginia; Nineveh, New York; Nineveh, Nova Scotia. Now, Nineveh is mentioned in the Bible, most notably in the book of Jonah, where it was associated with a city full of sin and vice. Now, prior to its fall, however, Nineveh was the largest urban center in the world. Now, as the story is related in the book of Jonah, the prophet Jonah was called by God to go to Nineveh and to prophesy disaster if they did not repent because of their excessive wickedness. Now, Jonah wanted nothing to do with Nineveh. He did not listen to God. And we all know the story of Jonah. But thank God the second time he listened and he went to Nineveh and preached to them, and they listened and they repented. So is this eclipse coming a sign from God because of the significance of all the cities named Nineveh? What do you think? Comment below. But nonetheless, we have to get ready because God is coming soon. Comment below what you think about this issue.
Okay, so that was that. That was the. I mean, there's a million other of these clips out there
about Nineveh.
Yeah, about Nineveh, and like it even gets weirder than that. They start talking about numerology and just all kinds of weird shit.
That's Kabbalah stuff.
Right, yeah, and it's the amount of times I hear about end-timed prophecies because of this event or that event all the time. Mm-hmm. But the one that really made this one stand out to me is that I think maybe it was yesterday, but Marjorie Taylor Greene decided that she was going to chime in on this little conspiracy theory here.
Okay.
So let me find the date here exactly. I've got to pull it up here, so give me just one moment. But it happened very recently, and I am still looking here. But it happened on April 5th, so 2 days ago. Marjorie Taylor Greene says, God is sending America strong signs to tell us to repent. Earthquakes and eclipses and many more things to come. I pray that our country listens.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. And then not only she didn't take that down, she followed up with it and retweeted it with her own another comment that says that many have mocked and scoffed at this post and even put community notes. Jesus talked about that in Luke 12:54 through 56. Yes, eclipses are predictable and earthquakes happen, and we know when comets are passing by. However, God created all these things, and uses them to be signs for those of us who believe. But no, I can't.
You can't even formulate words.
No, it angers me. Like,
it's so asinine.
How are natural events signs? I've never understood this.
How are natural events that can be calculated signs?
We've known about this eclipse way longer than you've been alive, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Right.
So, like, it has no significance. It is just something that was and is and will always happen.
Well, what I find interesting is Neil deGrasse Tyson took a lot of shit because he was always with the last big, gigantic, exciting eclipse. He was so dismissive. He's like, my guys, there's a fucking eclipse of something somewhere, all the time.
Right.
Like every moment there's some kind of fantastical, astronomical event that can be celebrated
because we're a goddamn tiny rock circling a giant sun ultimately we're a tiny solar system in a giant universe, like we're so insignificant and things are just happening, that's just what happens.
Yeah.
And the cool thing to me has always been science, right? Like this shit is predictable. This shit is you can explain it. There's a reason for it. And we can know those things, which is really fucking cool.
Yeah.
But then these religious nuts have to turn it into a goddamn prophecy.
And a circus.
Yeah.
And make shit up because they were talking about the towns of Nineveh that it's supposed to go through, and that's not
exactly correct, I don't think.
There's only like 3 towns of Nineveh, not like 8 or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And it's not a goddamn X or whatever the fuck they're trying to say it is.
Right. Well, there's multiple symbols that they're attaching to it. There's like an A and a cross and a, whatever. Like they're attaching all kinds of symbolism to these things. So.
Right.
And they're just throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping something sticks. Honestly, it's clickbait. But, the truth is that we have a congresswoman in our national political realm who is spreading these fucking conspiracy theories.
Right.
Like she believes that this is a sign from God, that it might be the beginning of the rapture, end times, or some shit like that. She believes this shit. And she's not alone. There are many people who think this is a sign.
Which is silly in and of itself. But for somebody of that caliber of
that stature.
Yes.
That standing.
To be in our hallowed halls of
it's a fucking
Congress,
embarrassment.
It is very embarrassing.
Yeah. Like this is embarrassing for the United States to have somebody up there saying conspiracy theory bullshit based on biblical fucking prophecies.
Right.
You gotta be kidding. That's so fucking 1600s.
Right.
I mean, what the fuck?
Well, and the whole 3 days of darkness.
Yeah.
Like, I literally was looking that up because I was like, what's a 3 days of darkness?
Sure.
Yeah, it falls on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so we're good, y'all.
Right.
It's Sunday. We're good. Yeah. It's past and we're all here.
Yep, that's not it. No, this isn't the one. This isn't the one.
Nope. I didn't see 1 day of darkness, much less 3 of them. And tomorrow it's only supposed to be like 7 minutes of darkness or some shit like that.
Right.
So get the fuck out of here with that.
But I did make some merch out of this. I made some I wasn't raptured T-shirts and hoodies and mugs and stuff.
And it's got the date on it.
And it's got the date on it. So if you guys want to get your merch for the solar eclipse and show everybody how you weren't raptured, head over to our website, and check out the merch shop.
I should get some for my parents because they won't have been raptured either, and I'm sure they'll find that very disappointing.
I mean, probably, yeah. Anyway, I didn't really have anything specific to there is no facts to discuss here, right? This is just all a bunch of idiots on fucking online making shit up to fit their narrative that they want the world to end. So that's all. That's all I had. I just had to share it with you, and I had to tell you
how mad
that Marjorie Taylor Greene shared this bullshit on her fucking Twitter feed.
And she's an idiot, and you're mad.
I am. I'm mad because you know what? Okay. Because people always ask, why do we get angry? Why do we care so much about the Bible and Christianity, and why do we get upset about it? I get upset about it because of this kind of bullshit. We have a political figurehead in our government who believes that the world is going to end
tomorrow.
Right. Because of a sign from fucking God. I don't want someone like that making decisions for me in our government.
Right.
I don't want someone like that thinking that they have any right to influence my life at all.
Right.
Because they're dumb. They're just fucking dumb.
And here's the thing, I can hear the argument being but they have faith and just let people have their own different faiths. No, this is not a difference of opinion, y'all. She's saying that this is a sign from God. It is not. I'm not saying that your God doesn't exist in this sentence, okay?
Right.
I'm not talking about your faith or your belief. What I am saying in this very moment is that no, an eclipse, which has been calculated to the minute,
right,
is not a sign from God. It happens regularly.
Yes.
This is what I am telling you.
Right.
I'm not even talking about opinions. I'm not talking about can't we all just get along and, you kids just hug each other and make up. No, I'm not going to.
Right.
No. She's an idiot at best and a idiotic liar at worst.
Right.
Yeah. Which one is your pick?
Yep.
I'm going with idiotic liar because she has been known to lie and she's an idiot.
Right. I mean, she did believe in Jewish space lasers or something starting forest fires. So I don't know, whatever.
She's an idiot and has no business in politics.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that much she's proven. So I didn't really have anything else to share about it. I just wanted to discuss that and talk about it for a minute because obviously the solar eclipse is happening on Monday, possibly today when you're listening to this, at the very least tomorrow if you're listening to this as soon as it comes out. So I want everyone, something else to say. I have heard from reliable sources that accidents on the road do go up during the solar eclipse, so everybody be safe out there. Because people stop to, it's dumb. This is dumb also.
Right.
But people stop in the middle of the fucking road to watch the goddamn eclipse.
That, and if they didn't realize it was happening and the sky is suddenly dark for a minute, that could be spooky.
That's disconcerting.
Yeah, not everybody is, dialed in and aware.
Sure.
Moreover, yes, do be careful. But moreover, I've also heard that you really should also don't look at the sun. Don't directly at the sun.
Except for apparently, and look this up for yourself because I don't want to be the authority on this 100%. But apparently there are 2 minutes in which you are allowed to look at the sun
because the sun's not there.
The sun's not there.
So you're not looking at the sun. You're looking at the lack of sun.
Right. But I just...
And toward that end, the corona that surrounds where the sun is supposed to be but isn't is supposed to be very gorgeous.
Yeah.
But moreover, what I was going to say is that if you are out there enjoying the eclipse and, partaking of the excitement of this natural phenomenon, I have heard that you're supposed to not just look up, but also look around and feel the air change in temperature mildly and enjoy the sound of nature changing for a moment.
Yeah.
Like the wind or
it's an experience.
Yeah. Like, you might hear, the birds stop or start. You might hear locusts or whatever. Whatever.
Yeah. Things will happen.
Things will happen. Also, I have heard that during a, full solar eclipse like this, that the air might even get a little shimmery in some places.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, so look around and tell me what you see.
Yeah. And we are right. We are literally right in the path of this thing. So
Dayton, Ohio. Yeah. But it's supposed to be cloudy overhead tomorrow.
Yeah,
so
I'm really
we might
sad
not.
about that.
It'll still get dark.
We're still going to be outside.
Yeah.
But,
we'll see what happens.
Hopefully it'll be clear. Hopefully it'll be clear right for the, at least the 2 minutes. I want to see the 2 minutes, the corona, the whole bit there. So
be safe. Be careful on the roads if you're driving. Do enjoy it. Don't stare at the sun. Do look around and let us know what experiences you have, or if you think the whole thing is stupid and overblown and not worth it.
Sure. Yeah. On that note, I think we are not doing a book club this week because time just got away from us and
something got to go, and the weekend ones are usually the ones we got to skip when we fall behind.
Right. So that being said, I will get the weekly wrap up out here after this, and then we will be back tomorrow with
Jeremiah chapter 41.
All right. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Hey, wife, I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep, we have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegiousdiscourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.